but what a crazy game to start, Luis.
Yeah, it was, and we saw a good Atletico Madrid actually in the second half. Very well in the first 15 minutes on the second half. More intensity, a lot more movement, and more creativity in the last third. And we went back to the beginning, where they allowed once again Rayo Vallecano to start getting bigger into the game, to believing that they could get something, and they found that fantastic goal to go ahead. And then you saw the reaction. The difference between these two teams, of course, is what you got on the bench. Simeone started bringing players into the second half that they made a straight impact with fantastic runs from Julián on the right side, Urieri and Nico in the left side. So these kind of players that they are top talented and world-class players make the difference in the whole second half. We are going to have a spot on, of course, the spotlight on Julián Alvarez. It was the one who scored the goals. But overall, I think it was a good performance of Atlético Madrid. Rayo Vallecano did their part. We talked about the maybe half could scratch 1 point, but in the end, it was 3 good points for Atlético Madrid.
We saw the whole spectrum of Julián Alvarez, and then he closed that down and rounded up the performance with a hat-trick, and what a hat-trick it was, coming into his left foot and hitting the shot that he did. Now, to your point, Stevie, Rayo Vallecano could have done a better job of closing down the best player on the field, and that is Julián Alvarez. But never mind. Julián Alvarez essentially said, I am your guy. And if I'm Diego Simeone, that's exactly what I wanted him to tell me. You are my guy, and I want you to be on the field, but you got to give me this. You got to show me this, and show me this consistently, that we can lean on you to score the important goals. Now, some would say, not me, but some out there would suggest, if Alexander Sarloth had been available and not been red carded as he was against Mallorca and not suspended for today's matches, would Julián Alvarez had stayed on the field? We'll never know the answer to that. But what we do know is that him staying on the field means a hat-trick, and that hat-trick means 3 points. Necessary, vital, crucial, huge, gigantic 3 points for Atletico Madrid.
Absolutely, especially with who's next up, Stevie. It's Real Madrid next. Their backs were against the wall today. They came out on top. They really needed it, given the way the season's gone.
Yep.
You wonder if it could be a turning point, but then you see who does come to visit next.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, the top dogs are coming, and they cannot afford to let them get away with anything, because if they do, then the chances of them coming back are pretty slim. At the same time, when you've got Julián Alvarez on your side, there's always that chance that he will come back. And we saw it again today. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I don't understand why Julián Alvarez ever gets substituted and why Julián Alvarez ever is not in the starting 11.
Because it's always him.
Well, it's always him. I mean, to me, Alvarez is what Griezmann used to be 4, 5, 6 years ago when he was Atletico Madrid. In my eyes, it's now Julián Alvarez is the man that should wear the crown. And it should be Julián Alvarez and 10 others. So I don't care if you've got Sorloth. I don't care who you've got. This guy should not be sitting on the bench at any stage, unless you really, really need to give him a rest. I don't understand Simeone at all, because what's going on behind Julián Alvarez, not just for this season, but certainly last season, is struggling big time. I think he needs to think more about what's going on behind Julián Alvarez, as opposed to taking him off and try to suggest that he's not doing his job.
Is Stevie right, Luis?
I can agree, and a lot, because he's your best player. Simeone mentioned it, and normally to your best player you have to kind of comfort him and play around him and bring the best players around him. If you have to replace, because he's the player who is more clinical. He's the player who arrived in the better position. He's the player who linked better with the other teammates. And you've seen that because he proved it last year. And now because he started maybe a slow moment or he's not bringing the best of him, you need to allow him to build on the season. It's true that there are going to be a lot of games and you need him sharp, you need him fresh. And of course the derby is coming on, the Champions League is coming on, and at some points it's better maybe to move it on from the pitch and allow him to rest for those 20-30 minutes extra. But I can agree with him that if you have your best player on the field, you are always going to have more chances. And right now Atletico Madrid need all the chances that Julián Alvarez can have.
It's a very Simeone thing, that when a player stands out above the group, that his his natural reaction is to highlight the group as the most important thing. What I would say if I were Diego Simeone is, let me strengthen the group, but if we have this guy that can stand above the group because he can give us something that nobody else in this group can give us, then let him be. Let him flow. Let him do the things that make him a special player. And to your point, Stevie, he cannot do those special things if he's sitting right next to you on the bench. Yeah. And so I think it goes against Diego Simeone allowing somebody to stand out above the strength of the group. Because the strength of Atletico Madrid under Diego Simeone has always been the group, the fight, the grind. Let Julián Alvarez do the grind, the fight, the group, but let him add something special. You need that little sparkle. You need something magic. It's going to come from him more than it is from Giuliano Simeone, more than it is from Conor Gallagher, more than it is from Nico Gonzalez. It's going to come from somebody. It's going to have to be Julián Alvarez. Let him be.
There are injured players coming back to fitness right now as well, Luis. Can you see this result as a turning point, despite what happens in the derby on Saturday for Atleti?
But it depends a lot on what is going to happen on the derby on Saturday. Of course, having players and rotations and all the games that they got in front for Atletico Madrid is not only about what is going to happen next. It's about what is going to happen at the weekend. If at the weekend you lose against Real Madrid, the gap is going to be huge. No chance for you even to dream to fight for LaLiga. And then once again, the mentality is to get in the top 4. If you win, if you reach or close the gap for 6 points, maybe you can think that it's still a long way to go. But thinking about that big gap in between the two of you, it depends what can they do at the weekend, what is going to happen with Atletico Madrid for the next coming months.
I don't know if this matters too much now, but just because these moments did happen in the game, I wanted to ask you about the fact that Koke stayed on the pitch and could have found himself in trouble. We saw the same with Llorente as well a little later on. Is that a concern for you, or does it all just go by the wayside once there's a win like this?
It's not a surprise, is it? It's kind of what Atletico Madrid are, and it comes from the guy at the top. I mean, it's a typical Simeone type of reaction from his players on the field. He does it on the sideline. He does it on the field. He's running on the field as well at times. So it's not a surprise when that happens. The biggest surprise is that you've got VAR and you've got a guy in Koke grabbing the other opposition goalie by the throat and nothing happens. Go figure. And
we just saw an example of something similar, not quite, but something similar with Dani Carvajal in Champions League, where there is is it a headbutt? Is it a nudge? Is this? A goalkeeper goes down or a defender goes down, whatever the case may have been, and now it's, well, obviously a red card. Well, what is the difference between the nudge of the head to the other forehead or the other player's forehead to basically grabbing somebody by the neck? Is that when it comes to ranking things, that's better? So we'll take the sort of mini headbutt, and that's a red card, but grabbing somebody by the neck and choking them, that's not it. And also, the Llorente one, as he's doing this, on the turn, there's a little one of these.
Nice little dig.
And I get you're allowed to punch people. Is that? I suppose. I just don't quite understand in this particular sequences why the system that is in place, the same system that allowed Rayo Vallecano to score the goal, rightfully so, because Álvaro García was clearly in an offside position, and we like VAR when they get involved and make the correct call. I don't understand how they're able to see somebody's hand in another player's neck, and that's okay. Or they see somebody doing this, and that's okay. I don't know. I don't understand it.